Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Mobile's webinar on Stop Losing Booth Visitors. Today we're going to talk about efficient lead retrieval options at expos and conferences. So to start with, I have with me two of my senior colleagues here, Stephen Blandon and Mihir Shah. Mihir is heading our product innovation team, and Stephen is our senior consultant for mobile solutions for enterprise businesses. Hey guys, how's it going today?
It's great. How are you? Thank you for joining, everyone. Yep, thanks everyone for joining.
Absolutely. It's a lovely Thursday afternoon in New York today. I hope everyone, wherever you are, you guys have an equally beautiful day. And just a quick introduction to us. Mobile is a part of the Web Spiders group. We're a global company. We have offices here in New York. We're obviously headquartered and powered at New York. And we have global offices in the UK, in London, as well as in Singapore that manages our Asia Pacific clients and customers. So we're pretty global. We've been around for a long time now, almost 7 to 8 years. So today we're going to focus mainly on the exhibitor side of events. Events are such a big thing. There's multiple actors involved in a successful event, and depending on the kind of conference it is, if it is an exhibition-based conference, or even if you have a few exhibitors, the success of exhibitors, I think, is a very important statistic for the event organizers, as well as for the overall success of an event. These are the people who are actually paying loads of money to come and attend your event. They're sponsoring your event. They are representing their own companies, and the whole and sole purpose of the exhibitors is by coming to a conference. The only thing that marks success at the conference is being able to go back with a healthy amount of leads to follow up on. And to be honest, we have been exhibiting, Stephen and I especially, we are at expos and conferences every month, and literally I think the only measuring statistic for a successful event for us as exhibitors is one, number of leads, but also the number of actual appointments, and three, qualifying those leads as, the ones that are actually proper leads, and those that, as we call them time wasters, right, Stephen?
Absolutely, absolutely. Just to add on, one of the things that's highly important for me, I take a lot, typically sometimes, in the past I would take a lot of, business cards, notepads. Exhibitors would come to the booth, we would discuss, certain areas of interest, and, by the time, I get to the office, I have to look at my email and then look at the notes that I took on the business card, and then realize, okay, I forgot what I spoke to this person about. So I think another important aspect is just the quick, real-time follow-up on the spot once you gather that lead, and obviously set up the demo.
Absolutely, and I completely concur with that point that Stephen just made. And over the past 6 to 7 years, we ourselves have developed multiple ways to counter these problems of following up. And as you can see the stats over here, 98% of exhibitors collect sales leads at the trade shows and events. I don't know who those 2% are who actually do not collect sales leads. To be honest, I'm failing to understand what they actually do at exhibitions. But the more important statistic here is that less than 70% of them have any formalized plan to follow up on these leads after the show. I think that is a more important statistic to look at. And then, there are various reasons for improper follow-ups or even zero follow-ups. So one, as we just said, qualifying your leads, having a formal way to score your leads when you're talking to a person. So what we have noticed over the years, and Stephen can elaborate on that. If I meet like 50 people or 60 people in a day at my booth, I would feel that 5 to 6, or maybe at the most 10 out of those were actually conversations that could lead to some kind of business.
Yep.
A lot out of those 60, about 20 to 25 would be someone trying to sell me something, just walking around collecting our business cards, or there would also be those 10% or 20% who are just there to pick up any marketing stuff or free stuff that you're offering at the booth. So formally scoring your leads is a very important thing, talking to a person and making sure this person is not just there to see what you're giving away at your booth and just having a conversation with you so that they can pick up that teddy bear that you have lying around in your booth or a bunch of pens. But talking and making that conversation fruitful by scoring that lead. And then 47% of the company's track leads generated at trade shows and events, which is a good statistic, but I think, again, that's a poor statistic because it's only 47%, whereas the remainder 53%, they don't have a formalized lead tracking system. So as Steven said, people are writing things down on the business card, some are writing down on notepads and stuff like that, and then it becomes a task to come back to the office and then input that into Excels and whatever CRMs you're using, like Salesforce or something. So like we just said, different ways of collecting leads. This is actually a pretty starking statistic that even today in 2016, a large number of exhibitors are relying on the fishbowl method of collecting leads and just asking people to draw business cards so that they can win an iPad. To be honest, I don't think an iPad is enough for people to drop their business cards because people hate spamming, and a lot of people are scared of dropping their business card without knowing who this business card is going to be circulated to. So that kind of cuts the number of leads you can get straight off. So this is an important statistic. More than 70% of exhibitors rent a lead retrieval tool or app during or sometime at the event, which I think is something that is getting more common. There's various different lead retrieval tools and apps, and we'll talk more about that. So 10 must-dos for lead management, obviously, recording lead details, ability to follow up. So, I mean, this is what I think we do, and Stephen, I would like you to elaborate on this. Personally, for the last 6 years, my biggest achievement from a lead at the event is for me to be able to set up the meeting right there and then instead of waiting for me to come back to the office, because I think it just adds the number of steps. It gives the chance for the other person to forget who they met, because you have to understand this one thing, guys. If you're going to a large expo where there are like 200, 300 exhibitors, and this person is meeting even, say, half of those exhibitors, say just 100 of those exhibitors, for that person to remember who is Steven, I met him at XYZ Expo, but which one of them is this? I don't really remember. It's impossible if you don't do a real-time follow-up. If you're going to send an email 1 week after the event, I think it's kind of asking for too much for expecting the other person to remember who you were.
I mean, I think that's a bad example, though, because, I mean, everybody remembers Steven. At the event, I just make that big of an impression. But anyways, just moving forward, I think Bruno made a really good point because, like, we do exhibit, quite often. And, a lot of times when you're speaking, with exhibitors, I mean, having a quick utility where you can follow up on the spot right away is you're really separating yourself, from the competition. So by the time, the exhibit show is over, people are packing up their booths, you've already eliminated the competition by sending your personalized email tailored specifically to what they were interested in. So by the time they're at the airport, they're already reviewing your collateral, they're looking at your email, and then that just gives them, kind of a feeling that, wow, these guys are on top of their game. They sent me an email right away. They send me not just a generalized email, but an email tailored specifically to what we talked about at the booth. So, I mean, just having a lead, management tool to follow up, instantly on the spot, but not just to follow up, but to actually be able to tailor the email to, what their interest area was. That's just separating yourself, from the competition. So by the time you get back to the office, you're already ready to close a deal as opposed to skirmishing through that fishbowl of leads trying to figure out, okay, what did we talk about? Let me send them a lead. Now you've already beat them to it. Now you can actually, close business by the time you get back to the office.
Right. So Just adding to that, right? I mean, obviously, you should have definitely a tool that helps you send that instant follow-up email, because I think that's what really gives that wow experience to attendees. Is like, really? I mean, how did these people do it so fast? How did I even, how did they even manage to attach these collaterals in like 2 seconds? We just spoke and send this to me. But I think to really also make that 5 minutes successful, because here's the thing, guys. I mean, like, as an exhibitor, that is the only one time that you actually get to be selling something face to face. You literally have a storefront. For companies like us, for companies that are more non-retail companies that are not having storefronts, that is the only time you actually are a retailer, almost a retailer. You are at a store, and that is your best time to figure out whether this is an actual customer or not. And the moment you get that feeling that, right, this person definitely is somebody I can sell to, if you lose the opportunity to set up a meeting with that person or an appointment at that time, that's I think that's a big loss as an exhibitor, or as a seller, to let an active hot opportunity just go and wait for you to come back, and that person to get back, because people travel from different places to come to a conference, and then they have to travel back, and then different things take priority or on their schedule. So if you're able to block their calendar while engaging them at the booth, I think you have literally done everything that you have to do with that lead, and now you just have to come back to your office and set up, and just get in touch with them when the meeting is actually there. And there's a couple of things that are huge benefits over here. One, you've done an amazing lead follow-up. You've already set up a meeting. Two, you have saved the time for yourself to come back and do those follow-ups, and then figure out whether the meeting needs to happen, and you can actually come back and take care of all the backlog of work that happened while you were away at a conference.
Yeah.
So,
and to add to that point, I mean, there's two aspects. I mean, an additional thing from an exhibitor's side is, and we'll cover this, I think, in a little while, is the ability to reduce that workload when you get back, just as you mentioned, by syncing it with your existing CRMs. So as you're making these leads, you can actually tag it at what level of responsive you think that this lead is, hot, cold, that kind of thing, and then that directly syncs up with your Salesforce, for example. So what happens usually now is you come back with a card, you have all these follow-ups, you're sitting and scrambling to write emails, but at the same time you have to put all of this information into Salesforce. So that's also that double, triple the amount of work that you have to do when you come back. First thing is you have to remember who that person was, what you talked about. Then you have to do a follow-up, and then you have to input it into CRM. So this is kind of streamlining that process completely and to the fullest. Another aspect is from actually the attendee side. So let's say there's like I just brought 100 cards. And I'm going around passing them around, and by the time I actually come to a booth that is actually interesting for me, I may have run out of business cards, or I may have put it into too many of these win an iPad fish bowls just to kind of win an iPad. But then the real conversation happens, and I'm like, okay, I don't have anything to do. So this kind of takes away that angle as well, where you can say, okay, don't worry, we don't really need your business card. You just input your information really quickly here.
Yep.
And it's simple, basic information. It's not anything that's intrusive or anything like that. And, it simply takes that out of their hands as well. And so for attendees, now if all the exhibitors are using it, and this is a known thing to all the attendees, they're going to reduce their costs as well to bring in all of these business cards and all of these collaterals to themselves to hand out to the exhibitors to kind of make that connections.
Absolutely, I completely agree with that. And so this is we just spoke about the more significant leads that you get at a conference, right? We just spoke about the guys who are actual leads that you will be setting appointments with. But then, out of those 60 people that you spoke to, obviously 10 of them or 8 of them agreed an appointment, and then 20 of them spoke to you on the phone after you came back. But there is still a significant chunk of people who did not seem that important or that hot while you were at the event, or who did not pay you that much attention when you came back and gave them a call. But at some point later, these people could be in need of your product. These are important. You cannot disregard the other leads, right? I mean, there has to be a formal way of making sure that you still are able to stay in their face. I mean, if you have met them once and they have seen your product, you've got a chance to showcase your services, it's very important for you to have a constant stay in touch kind of a loop program. So, the ability for your marketing team, because these emails are now in your CRM, right, which is one of your most important things. And your marketing team should be sending them, follow-up emails, just product announcements, anything new, links to your blog, newsletters, or anything. And then maybe a couple months down the line, you should revisit these leads and just do a calling campaign. Just have one of your, sales guys pick up the phone and say, hey, these are the guys that visited us. They were at that conference, which was a focus conference, so they probably are people that could someday develop a need for a product. So instead of calling some other list, let's just give a call to everybody that we spoke at that conference that didn't materialize into business. So that's very important to keep the cycle going and not become a name that they forgot and become a name that they constantly hear, and it gets amplified in their mind, so that the next time, even if they're it's in their subconscious when they're looking for a product that's slightly related to what you guys do, your name comes to their mind. Oh, well, you know what? I've been getting these emails and calls from this company that I think I met at this show, and they seem to be doing this. So that does leave an effect on those non-top priority leads as well. So we're now going to talk about mobility solutions for lead retrieval. And as you all know, we have our own product called Exhibitors Edition from Event Mobile, which is one of the leading mobile application products for exhibitions and conferences. And our Exhibitor Edition is a cutting-edge, state-of-the-art mobile app for lead retrieval. It also helps you, display your collaterals in a digital fashion. It's Apple TV compatible, so you can have this cool effect where you can, have people look at your marketing collaterals on a large screen and then swipe through them from your phone. But the most important part, again, collaterals and everything is great, but the most important thing, again, comes back to the ability for you to record these leads, the ability for you to get leads for people who are not carrying business cards, as Mihir just mentioned, and then to qualify those leads and make sure that they get recorded and saved in the right place, and there is no way that you're going to lose that data. So coming back to EE, we have a product called Event Mobile EE, which is a full-on mobile solution that allows you to upload your digital collateral. These could be PDFs, these could be PowerPoints or video files explaining your products and services. You can showcase them on your booth. It's obviously something that will make you look more cool than just handing out printed brochures. It also helps you amplify the attendee's experience by broadcasting it to a large screen. And the best part about this is you can scan both the attendee badges as well as their business cards. So now, I mean, this is, again, a huge thing that happens with me a lot, that if I'm collecting 100 business cards at an event, I'm always scared, did I miss any? Did I lose any? Am I sure all the business cards that I collected, I have brought them back to the office? But what the app does, once you scan a business card, the image of the business card also gets saved to your backend, to the app's backend. Obviously, we have an OCR built into the app that breaks down the business card into the mandatory fields and saves it to your Excels, to your CRMs, but also the images of the actual business cards get saved, which is pretty cool, because, I mean, obviously you're happy to see all the details, but, just to see, okay, that's the business card, also gives you a really cool feeling. So what's happening here, just to talk you through. So what I did here, I displayed my collaterals. I'm engaging with an attendee on the booth, displaying all my collaterals on a digital screen, and this could be a kiosk too, guys. So we have two modes here. We have an exhibitor mode, which is a sales mode where you can manually showcase your collaterals, and we have a kiosk mode. For those situations where, like, if you have a colleague like Steven who keeps the booth very busy and doesn't really let anybody pass through our booth without visiting us, there could be situations when you get really busy and you don't get a chance. There are people waiting to talk to you, but you guys are so busy that you're not being able to attend to everyone, right? So if you have a self-serve kiosk, these people can actually browse all your products on the iPad then they can go ahead and click on send me more details. When they do that, they can select the collaterals they want to download. They can scan their badge or their QR code themselves on the app, click on Save and Send, and instantly they will get the email and your collaterals and your contact details. So even though you didn't get a chance to speak to this person, you still have that lead saved. You still have sent a follow-up email. How cool is that now? Like even, in a situation where you're just one person at a booth and you want to go to a quick restroom break, right? If you have a kiosk like that, you're still capturing leads while you're not even at the booth. While no one is at the booth. How cool is that?
And this also, gives that feeling like, again, if you have a lot of people at the booth and things like that, certain people don't want to also be approached. They want to see what you have to offer. If you make it a cool, interactive way, where they have the iPad set up and they're just kind of swiping through and seeing everything, certain people are like that too. Otherwise, to them it feels like, sales pitch right away, and they don't like that approach. And so this becomes kind of a self-to-do thing, and it's more on them saying I am actually interested, and that becomes actually probably a warmer lead than if it's someone that you just talk to and pitch. Because a lot of times, if you're talking to someone, they may just be like, okay, yeah, I'm interested, but not really interested, and just kind of wasting time, as I mentioned earlier. But if it comes from something like this, that they are interested in something like this.
Absolutely.
Because they're doing it themselves.
And one more important aspect that we failed to bring about is that this is awesome to have at the booth, right? I mean, this is so amazing. You're showing your collaterals, and you're able to scan their leads, their business cards, and send instant follow-up emails. But this also basically mobilizes your exhibit booth, if you think of it. So even if you're having a mini iPad or your iPhone where you have all these collaterals, and you're at the evening social, and you're having a conversation with a person that you just met, right? You can still showcase all their collaterals. You can still scan their badge, still scan their QR code, still capture that lead, and send that follow-up email while you're having a drink. While you have a drink in your hand, all you did was take out your phone, said, oh, this is what you want, bang, you scan their badge, boom, you send the email, you send the lead, you save the lead, and your job is done. So you're literally mobile. You mobilize your entire exhibit booth, and wherever you are, you have everything that you need. You have your marketing collaterals, you have a lead scanner, and your business card scanner, and you're instantly saving these leads. So, I mean, this is amazing for exhibits, definitely, but even for those salespeople, when they come out of the exhibit, they're still selling using this and capturing leads, which is so cool.
Yeah, I agree.
So just, quick points: send prompt mails to leads after booth visits and collaterals. I think we've already covered all these. So this thing, guys, folks, that you see over here, these 3 flame marks is what we provide, which helps you rank a lead. So based on your conversation with the lead, if you rank a lead as cold, warm, or hot, now when you come back to the office, it helps you to download or to look at the most high priority leads first. So all you have to do is click on number 3, and you'll see only the top priority leads. So you know how to effectively do your follow-up. Okay, these are the folks that I need to reach out straight off at the back of the show. Okay, these people, okay, I have to reach them, but they're not that important. And number 3 is like, okay, these people were like, okay, these are some, but I just want to pass on to my marketing team so that they can do content marketing to them. So it really helps you plan your follow-up more efficiently. And then obviously the ability for you to manage and control how these leads are downloaded, ability for you to download and look at how many leads you have in real time. So this number over here always shows you the number of leads you captured in real time. You can customize your own email templates, so the follow-up email that will go to your customers. You can manage the themes of that. You can obviously theme the app so that it matches your organization's branding, etc. So these are just ways to make the app more personalized, send personalized collaterals, and personalized email templates. So we're just going to talk about a couple of case studies. One of our clients is Cognizant. I'm pretty sure a lot of you might be aware. For those who are not, it's a global technology giant. They had their annual Global Account Planning Summit in Orlando in December 2015. They had about 30 to 40 partners that were exhibiting at this summit, and they only had, I think, a 2-hour exhibit. Oh, 2 hours,
Yeah,
right?
2 hours.
2 hours exhibit, and they did everything on our Event Mobile E. They wanted to provide like a super cool, cutting-edge platform to their partners. Obviously, this is a technology company, so they wanted to use the most advanced technology available to make their events a successful factor for their partners, and they use Event Mobile EE. As we provided them with the iPads and the apps installed on those iPads, all their exhibitors had to do was log in at the event. They had to do nothing except log into the apps. The login was provided by us, and they were ready to go. They just had to scan these leads when people were visiting their booths. The leads were getting saved in real time to the backend. Just to look at the metrics, there were a total of 350 leads that were recorded within a 2-hour session using Event Mobile EE. So people were super happy. They did not have to collect hundreds of business cards. They did not have to go back and type things into their Excel. And a lot of these exhibitors that were there actually reached out to us separately after the event on the options to just use this app as a permanent solution for all their events that they're doing. The second event case study that I would like Stephen to talk about, because this is one of his clients, is TD Ameritrade, who wanted to use the self-service kiosk mode at their events to showcase their collateral. So Stephen, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. So this was an event that was based in Orlando. It was roughly like around maybe 4,000 to 5,000 attendees. So it was a huge, huge show. A lot of the investment advisors that were there. So we were partnered closely with TD staff, and they were somewhat short-handed. So they needed a solution in terms of getting some collateral, some marketing information to these IRAs. So what we proposed is just switch it from sales mode to the self-service kiosk. So what they did was they had something similar to what you're seeing on the screen. They had a kiosk with the iPad and EE installed on it. And so whenever anyone who was interested for getting any type of marketing material about TD, about their events, they could just simply go up to the kiosk, email the documents to themselves right on the spot, and then everything was taken care of very, very efficiently. So it really helped out. It was like an extension. It was like an extension of their marketing team. So as opposed to having 5 people walking around with iPads, since there were so many people, they just had a few kiosks that were set up, and anyone that was interested in getting any type of marketing information, they could do so at their discretion, and it really, really helped them out tremendously.
Absolutely.
One really cool thing as well, which they leveraged, was not only the ability, because badges have usually have QR codes and things like that to be able to scan, but they also were able to now allow the users to scan their own business cards. And once the scan of the business card happened, they automatically populated the content from that business card and populated the appropriate fields to capture that lead. So that's a really cool experience. So if QR codes are not available on these badges and things like that, people don't actually have to type in these various fields all that information. They can simply scan their business card and just fill in those fields automatically at a very, very easy level.
And just another cool thing, just to add on to that, so let's say, for instance, you really don't get a chance to gauge people who actually went up to the kiosk and scanned, the business card from the self-service option. So what's really interesting on the back-end CMS, you can have the option, since I'm sure they probably wouldn't rate themselves, at the kiosk, but you will have the ability to actually see, which attendee actually, opened, that collateral that was sent. So, I mean, you can send emails with collaterals, but I think it's, highly beneficial to actually see who actually opened the collaterals, and you have that option as well.
Yeah, and the cool part is it's all real time, right? So, while you're there, not only are you, quickly and reactively just sending out these automated mails, but you can quickly just log into the back end and pull a report and see, all the activity within that hour, within that that minute, up to real-time kind of things. So by the end of the day, while people are still scrambling and collecting cards, by the end of the day, you have a full report of every single lead that you captured, and you can, with the notes and everything, really well documented. So you have the screenshot of exactly what was done by which type of users. So there are multiple users. If you have multiple salespeople, they'll have their own logins with their personalized emails going out. But then that report will actually say Steven has done this and Varun has done this, and it gives you a real quick snapshot of that day, which is really cool in real time.
And it's great too. Like, let's say if you're a manager and you're sending your sales force to like a conference. So being a manager, you want to know how many people actually spoke to attendees, how many leads did they scan. So it's also a great way to actually monitor the productivity of your sales staff. If you're not present, you can see who really was getting down to business at the conference by who has the most leads downloaded.
Right, and I think this also goes beyond just conferences itself. I mean, when you're out on the road, anything can happen. You go for a business meeting, and then again, like Ruben said, while you're at dinner, you don't know who you're going to meet. So if you have this kind of tool, it's not only just made for conferences and exhibits. I mean, it could be just a Salesforce tool for organizations that can really leverage this kind of all year round. Where it just becomes a paperless kind of thing. And you always have that collateral available with you. You don't have to say, yeah, I'll get back to you or I'll email you. It's all just there in the palm of your hands.
Absolutely, and that's the power of going digital, guys. I mean, like, one is that it's always in the palm of your hands. Two is that you can integrate that with whatever tools you have, like SharePoint or wherever your collaterals are saved, so that when your marketing is uploading new collaterals, they're automatically available to you. So you don't have to, go back and say, hey, are there any new marketing collaterals on this product? As soon as your marketing has created a new collateral and uploaded it, you will have that available to you wherever you are. So I think that's, again, a huge power of going digital. And then the other power of going digital is the security aspect of these collaterals for some important marketing materials. So say your sales team is going to a meeting where they actually want to present some confidential, like say if you're a financial company and you want to show some prediction charts, some forecasts, etc. Now, if you're printing these out, there's always a chance that these things could be, duplicated. If you lose them somewhere, if they slip out of your file, or if you forgot that somewhere. But with a digital product, EE, we have the capacity to encrypt it, also contain it within mobile device management tools such as Good and Mobile Iron. So and also have things like single sign-on for your sales team to completely securely authenticate themselves. So only the right people have access to these marketing repositories, and once they're in the app, the marketing collaterals or any documents, as a matter of fact, that you're uploading here are completely secure, and they don't fall prey to the wrong hands. So I think we've covered pretty much most of the stuff that we wanted to cover. Some of our clients that have been benefiting our solutions for a very long time now are listed on this page. Both Stephen and I are available to answer any other questions, also Mihir, but if you guys want to reach out, Stephen's email address is stephen.blandon@webspiders.com. My email address is varun.kaushik@webspiders.com. You guys feel free to get in touch with us. If you want to do a demo of the product, we can give you guys login access to do a dummy trial so that you guys can play around with it. We price it at a per user license, but if you guys want it for your sales teams, we can also give you guys annual license based on bulk users. It's very affordable. It's way cheaper than any other digital or even any other lead management tool that you're renting out at events. So usually what we've seen is usual lead retrieval scanners are available for around $100 to $200 per event. We provide our product for like $150 per event. It's available for a 3-day event. Per user license is $150 only. And you have the ability to upload your marketing collaterals. You have the ability to scan leads. You have the ability to scan business cards. You're able to download these leads in real time. And obviously, you can use it for multiple events. If you want to license it for more than one event, we have bulk pricing available. You can reach out to one of our sales reps, and we'll be more than happy to, assist you with that. So with that, I'm going to open the floor to any questions. I'm also going to unmute all the attendees just in case you guys want to speak out and ask a question straight off. So please feel free to ask questions if anybody has any questions. Great, so not seeing any questions coming here. Already gave some information about pricing, so Roger here just wants the email addresses typed in here so that they can get in touch with our sales teams. So I'm giving Stephen's email address. You guys can reach out to Stephen at any time if you have any sales inquiries or any product inquiries. I've typed Stephen's email address in the chat window, so feel free to connect with him. I've also typed our direct phone in the chat windows, so if anybody wants to give us a call, feel free to give us a call.
Hi, Ashley. That's actually a great question. Ashley, she asked a question regarding Salesforce integration. Was that inclusive on the cost? No, it's a slight customization charge for that, and we'd be more than happy to discuss. So if you just want to send me an email, I'd be more than happy to do a quick demo and to discuss customizations and integrations as well.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ashley. Thank you for asking that question. Okay, I think we're good. If anybody, as I said, if anybody wants access to the app just for a demo, feel free to reach out to Stephen. He can set your logins up. And thank you so much for your time on a lovely Thursday afternoon. Have a great day, everybody. I hope you're enjoying your lunch, and we'll speak to you at our next webinar. Thank you.
Thank you.